G'day everyone, welcome to the show. We're talking Trek, and Short Treks is continuing. It's funny, we're talking a lot about these 4 episodes. Lee has a lot to say that he'd like to say. He's back with us. Lee Sargent, thanks for coming back.
Thank you for having me back.
The last episode of these Short Treks, and we're focusing on Harry Mudd. Rainn Wilson is directed by Rainn Wilson. This, surely, Lee, out of all of these, this has to be a shining light for you, surely.
The episode that featured him in the Space Whale, the time loop episode of Discovery Season 1 was probably the highlight of the entire series for me, and in no small part because of Harry Mudd. This episode, I give it 14 minutes. I think Rainn Wilson has nailed the Harry Mudd character. I think he's done an extraordinarily good job in embodying this character, and I love that. And so a chance to see him is great. Once again, the story I have problems with, and the story is that there's I'm sorry if you haven't seen it. There's going to be a spoiler. There's android Harry Mudds running around the galaxy. It's a hard one it's a really, really hard one to kind of grapple with, simply because everyone's always amazed at Data. And I know Data is a lot more advanced than these ridiculous Harry Mudds. But then we also had the episode I Mudd, which I'm sure this was a homage to, of Harry stuck on a planet with androids. Yeah. And I don't know whether or not this is a lead to that. I probably would have tied it in a little bit tighter or made it a little bit more obvious that that's where this was, because we had no idea when he met the androids in iMud. They could have expanded that kind of concept a little bit more. So I always have problems with android stories anyway, because the technology is so far advanced. To actually have a believable android kind of doing its thing, I don't know, I struggle with that, because it's just because we've had android stories where people have gone, oh my God, it's an android, where we're so shocked at this technology. Whereas Harry Mudd's got like 15, 20 Harry Mudds. Once again, if you remove any of that aspect to it, and I don't care, and it's not attached to anything, and of course it's just a show, so let's all just unclench for a second. It's so much fun, and it's a really fun episode, and I don't even have a problem with the Tellarite, which I was kind of looking at the Tellarite at the start and going, okay, how much should we change the Tellarites for the sake of changing Tellarites? Yeah. And I actually didn't find it, apart from the fingers. I'm a 3-finger Tellarite man. That's the way Tellarites were always meant to be, and I refuse to accept 5-fingered Tellarites. I think that's an abomination. But what I do... Maybe he was. Maybe it was a genetic abnormality. I looked very carefully and I saw fingers, and I was very angry. I like what they did with it, actually. I think they showed a little bit of constraint with changing what Tellarites look like. And this was just another nationality of Tellarite, and it looked good, and I liked it. So I got to heap a little bit of praise on that. So I really, really like that. Another thing that I will heap praise on is that Harry Mudd's jacket. One of the androids' jackets was the classic Harry Mudd jacket that we see later on in the original series, with the kind of the naval kind of shoulder things and stuff. And I really like that. That was a nice kind of touch. Fun episode, like really fun episode, and he's obviously very talented as Harry Mudd. And I would welcome more short treks with Harry Mudd. I don't know if I'd want to see too many more storylines, because I think Harry Mudd becoming overly well known or famous in the galaxy is probably not as clever, is not as doesn't serve his later episodes in the original series when he kind of shows up and they don't know anything about Harry Mudd. So you've got to be very careful in this season with Spock that he shouldn't know anything about Harry Mudd.
I think we're done with Harry Mudd. I think the Escape Artist was a way of sending off the character to the original series.
I hope so.
At least that's my hope. As much as I love the character, I think that that if you want to maintain that sort of the canonical progression, or maybe even Spock's not there, because I believe Spock isn't showing up until the middle of season 2, so maybe we could see him in the beginning. But I sort of think that that Mudd's got no real attachment to the Discovery. It was really to Lorca. That was who he came back for, and Lorca's gone, so perhaps Mudd's gone as well. I think the final word has to go to Mudd and saying, if I had any money, I'd be sipping jippers on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, look, and it's beautiful. It's actually Mudd. It's Harry Mudd. It's very well written. I think it's one of the shining examples of how you can merge what we know of a character into like just the embodiment of the character again. And I don't know, even again, this is the canon issue, isn't it, really, where we turn around and go, well, yeah, but Mudd looks different, Mudd's different and whatever, and it's like, yeah, but you know what, for the purposes of this, I'm quite happy for them to kind of do what they're doing. Again, it all comes down to I don't probably appreciate having it yelled at me that this is canon all the time. As much as I think they don't appreciate people screaming it's not canon, I think we should all put that to the side for a second. And again, with the nitpicking stuff, let's all put that to a side. Were these enjoyable episodes? Yeah, they were. They're very well made. Like, the production quality, really good. The acting, quite good. I say quite good. I'm trying to remember if there was a bad bit, but I don't recall one. So, the performances are really good. Questionable short stories in the universe of Star Trek, sure. Like, I think that there's some tenuous issues there where we kind of go, well, because we know more, I don't believe them. Like the Saru storyline, for instance, it's like, what a great story, up to the point that the Federation is screwing over a bunch of people who are getting eaten. That's not great. That's not good PR for any organization. That's not great PR. And I doubt that's not what the Prime Directive was for. And even in the first episode, it's like, okay, forget all the extraordinary security breaches and some of the silliness of it, and it's a cute little character moment. And quite at the end of it, you can go, oh yeah, that's nice, and I think that's positive in itself. But you do have this horrible chain and ball called Star Trek, which I love, but at the same time, story-wise, it just means you have to jump through more hoops, and you have to be smarter about how you get these storylines going. And I think that's probably where they dropped the ball a couple of times in these episodes. But apart from that, these are fun. Like, did you enjoy them as a whole?
Definitely fun. No, I think that there were the couple of things there, especially with the Brightest Star and the way they finished it off. But you look at it, you sit back, you look at it, and you go, it was fun. It was these short treks, as it is, into other possibilities in this latest iteration of Star Trek, and I think that if the Escape Artist is the way that they're heading, then we're going to be we're going to be pretty cool. And I think also too, because Michael McMahon, who wrote The Escape Artist, is actually attached to the new Lower Decks animated series. So I think if that's what he's going to translate into it or bring to that new show, then I think we found our new series.
Yeah. Oh, look, and I think the tone is fine. I'm hoping they stay within that tone. for the animated series. Like Star Trek has got a great history of fun episodes. The Trouble with Tribbles, episodes like that where are just more kind of, they're a bit more played for comedy, and I think there's certainly a place in Star Trek for comedy. I would have liked to have seen, and they obviously weren't far enough along, but I would have loved to have seen one of the short treks as one of the animated episodes. I would have thought if you were planning out your Star Trek year or years coming, I think not necessarily rushing, but trying to get a short trek animated as a hint of what's coming would have been a great way of testing the waters. And actually, in saying that, what I potentially would have done if it was me in charge of the studio and I was kind of looking at it going, well, we want to expand Star Trek. We want we want Star Trek to be the thing that people are getting all sorts of things from. I probably would have considered saying, well, okay, let's look at these episodes and work out what we can showcase for the future. And whatever gets the best reactions, maybe we start looking at that. So you could have done, TOS era episode with the proper uniforms and everything and gone, and everyone goes, I hate that, it's so 60s looking. And you go, right, cool. That's out of the way now. We can just say that. It's done.
See? We told you.
We told you you wouldn't like it. And then everyone goes, oh my God, it's amazing. And they go, oh, for God's sakes, really?
Damn it.
But the animated, it's like, we did an animated episode and everyone's like, holy crap. We do a musical episode. And everyone goes, this is the greatest thing since Glee Trek. I don't know. So I that's where I think some of the possibilities come. I would think it's a shame if these episodes just go away and don't have any relations to. I mean, the Harry Mudd one, I agree with you 100%. When I look at it like a farewell for the character, I'm like, I can take the android stick out of my butt and not be concerned about that because it was a fun episode. And it's a nice way of saying goodbye to Harry Mudd. But
absolutely,
I think it would be a shame if Calypso doesn't have any relation at all. Like if it's really random and just goes, this is a because then you've already set your ship in motion as far as what you can do with it. There's no destruction of the Discovery. Unless they turn around and they go, oh yeah, that was actually in the mirror universe, and you go, oh, for God's sakes, people!
Hey, you said those two words again.
I know, and this is the same. And now I said it out loud. Could Calypso have been set in the? Oh my Lord! Yeah, it could have.
Oh
done.
No! You're going down a dark and dangerous path.
It said USS Discovery, I think.
But did it fall into the mirror universe?
Oh, for God's sakes.
Oh, well, we better stop it here, Lee.
Yeah, no,
thank you.
It's going somewhere dark and I don't want to know about it. Thank you very much for having me on again.
Lee, thanks for talking Trek and thanks for talking short treks.
Excellent, thank you.